Welcome to the Rocc Pod, presented for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. I am John Gay from Jagging Detroit Podcasts.
I'm Lisa Bibby, your neighborhood realtor with Keller Williams Advantage.
And I'm Trish Caruth, third-generation jeweler and owner of Your Personal Jeweler.
'Tis the season. I hope you are hungry, because we're talking food today. We have Jannie Teitelbaum from Great Lakes Pot Pies. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How did you get started making pies in this whole industry, Jannie?
So I was semi-retired. I had just finished another business that I just didn't want to do anymore. And I wanted to do something with food because whenever you go to a craft show or any kind of show, the food booth is always the one that's the busiest. So I wanted to do something with food. I started making healthy bars, granola bars, all that kind of stuff. And my friend said to me, that's great, but we need dinner. So I started working on other recipes, and I always liked chicken pot pie as a child. So I started making chicken pot pie recipes. I actually did it on paper for a really long time. And then eventually one day I just made my first pot pie. I was in a women's network group and I brought one because we always brought food to pay, a dish to pass. And somebody said, oh, is this your new business? I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. They said, well, it is now because I'm ordering one. And then that was it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was it. And I just kept going.
Oh, that's amazing.
And was that here in Michigan, Jannie?
Yes. Yeah, I moved here in 2009.
I mean, getting into the food business and all the legalities around it can get very complex. Where did you go to get questions answered when you started your business?
Well, that's a really good question because people do ask me that. MSU has this thing called the Product Center, and it's like having your own private consultant that's free. And there happens to be one down Telegraph Road. They have the government buildings down there, and they have an office there, and I would go there. And I had this one person, I could call her anytime, I could text her, I could go in and see her. And she sent me every which way and answered all my questions. And I don't know if I would be here like this today without them. They were awesome.
I know you also sold your pies at the Royal Oak Farmers Market. How beneficial was it?
That's really what got me started. I was just selling them out of my home for a little bit, which, it's meat, so you're not really allowed to do that legally.
Yeah.
So I had to start getting, a commercial kitchen, and that whole thing, which I did. And then people told me about the Royal Oak Farmers Market. I didn't even know about it. And the reason I chose that one was because it was all year round and it was indoors. So I got in there and then I started getting my following, and that was it. I had people who'd come every week and my business was growing and growing. I was having to hire more people and needed more time in the commercial kitchen. And that farmers market really got my business off and running.
What year was that?
2018.
So this is probably the $1,000,000 question. I'm sure you get asked this all the time as we approach Thanksgiving here. How do you decide what sizes and flavors of pot pie to make? I'm drooling a little bit asking the question. It's almost lunchtime as we record this.
I started with the large size pies, but then realized, people like that little personal size. And then eventually, so I had those two sizes for a long time. And then I started doing this hand pie that's kind of like a Hot Pocket.
Oh, wow.
So that's like if the kids come home from school, it's like a snack. It's not quite as big as, the personal size pie, so you're not eating a whole meal. But I started with the chicken, but then very soon after that, somebody said, oh, my husband's gluten-free. My girlfriend's vegetarian, this and that. So I started working on all these recipes, and that was it. And then I just kept going.
So what are your most popular flavors now? Or what do you sell the most of?
Oh, definitely the chicken. 95% of the people come in and get chicken. And then we have beef stew, Italian meatball. Actually, the most popular one right now is our Thanksgiving in a pie.
Oh.
It's Thanksgiving in a pie. It's a layer of stuffing, sweet potatoes, cranberries, and then we do this turkey filling that has green beans and everything in it. And then we top it with a cornmeal crust that we put these really pretty leaves in. And we also put some cranberries on top of the crust so it looks pretty.
Oh my gosh, I don't even eat meat and I want one of those. That sounds amazing.
I have a chicken pie phobia that I've had since I was 10 years old because I burnt myself on it. So I haven't had one in over 20 years, but you're making me want to have one now.
Oh, you should come in and get one.
What was the pivotal moment for you that you decided, now is the time I need to open up a storefront?
Okay. I remember this. I was in my commercial kitchen in Royal Oak. We were in a church, 11 Mile in Woodward, the Episcopal Church right there. They have a wonderful kitchen. And I could not fit all my stuff in there anymore. And not to mention, you can leave some stuff there, but it's not your place. Other people are using it. You have to get all your stuff out. It's a pain in the neck. And I was there about 3 days a week. And I had just had it. So I talked about it with my family. And I thought my sales were good enough. I had enough customers. I said, I'm going to go open a store. And it took a long time to find one, but I found my spot in Clawson. It's very scary. The rent was good. I felt like I could handle it, that if not one person walked into that store, I could still pay my rent with the Royal Oak Farmers Market. And then I'd add some other farmers markets, which I did. I did Farmington. And that's what I did. I just took the leap.
I'm guessing you can relate to that, Trish, just having recently opened your storefront.
Yes, definitely.
So we'd love to stop in your new storefront.
Yeah, so I have one location. It's 809 West 14 Mile Road. It's in Clawson. It's east of Crooks. I'm in the shopping center with Chicken Shack and Berry Bagels. A lot of people know where Chicken Shack is. And that's my one location, but I'm in a lot of grocery stores now. I'm probably in about, I don't know, last I checked, probably 70, 75 grocery stores right now.
Wow.
Up until recently, I had my own delivery person. So I went out and made all the sales to the stores, to Fresh Time and Meijer and all that. I did all that myself, but it was too much and I really wanted to grow. So I have a distributor now. So now they have their sales reps out delivering to all the stores. I don't even know half the stores I'm in anymore. I have to get a list from them to update me. And it's just the chicken that's in the stores. Because, you have to do the packaging, the UPC. It's like a whole thing. People are like, why don't you have all your flavors in all the stores? Well, it's not that easy.
But they can come to your storefront and order whatever they want, correct?
Yes. And I also ship all over the country.
Ooh, fantastic. So you can go right to her store and order or have it shipped right to your home. That's even better.
Right. From the website.
So what are some of the steps that you had to go through to get USDA certified to be able to sell in stores?
Okay, so to get USDA certified, you have to get your HACCP plan done. And I started doing that on my own, and it was very, very overwhelming. Because I didn't just have the chicken, I wanted to get every one of my flavors under my HACCP plan so that if I was going to sell them wholesale to the stores, I was legal. Well, I ended up hiring somebody and it was well worth it and it's done. And I have USDA comes in here about 3 or 4 days a week to make sure I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to. But there is a lot. You have to get certified yourselves. You have to take classes. You have to, know what you're doing. There's a lot of rules and regulations with food. And as long as you do what you're supposed to do, your HACCP people are happy and I'm happy.
It sounds like one of the things you've really done to help your business is bring in people to help, back to the Michigan State Consult, but then also, like you said, the selling, the distribution and all that. Food is a really hard business. What suggestions would you give to someone who is starting something in the food business?
Well, definitely go to the MSU Product Center and get somebody to help you. Ask questions everywhere you go. I did. And let me tell you, I was not in the food business before, and I can't tell you how many people said to me, you can't do this. You've never worked in food before. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to fail. And I was like, no, I'm not. And I just kept going. And I just kept my head down and kept going. And it's hard. It is hard work. It's physical. I'm in and out of that walk-in freezer every day. It is sometimes negative, like 20 degrees in there. I mean, some of it is not fun, but you just keep going and put out a good product. Just make sure that you do your homework before you go and do something like open a store. Make sure you have the volume in sales. Make sure it's something that people are going to want. If you're interested in going into stores after, talk to some distributors, get some feedback from people who have done it before.
So, Jannie, thank you so much for following your heart and your entrepreneurial spirit. And we want to find out a little bit more about what you do when you're not working.
Oh, well, I'm here about 70 hours a week. So I can't play tennis anymore because I have a bad back. I used to do that. I spend a lot of time with my family. When I drive home every day, it's about 18 minutes or so. I call a friend or somebody that I haven't talked to in a long time. And if another call comes in, I do not answer it. So it's kind of my private time, my drive home. I try to see a friend for coffee or a walk at least 1 or 2 days a week, or at least on a Sunday, which is my only day off. My friends and family are really important to me, and that's where I'm putting my efforts.
Well, now it is time for our fishbowl question of the day.
Uh-oh.
John, will you pull the question?
All right, totally random question for you here, Jannie. Let's see. Oh, it's a food question. Nothing to do with pies, but it's a food question. Real simple. Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, that's a tough one. That is really hard because I like them both. All right, I'm going to say waffles.
Any reason why?
I don't know, because I just went to breakfast the other morning and I had some and they were delicious.
That works.
Well, thank you, Jannie, so much for coming on our show today. Do you want to let the audience know how they can reach you?
Yes, we're at GreatLakesPopeyes.com. Our store phone number, 248-266-1160. Come see us, 809 West 14 Mile Road in Clawson. We're in a lot of stores in the area. Our box we're in the freezer section. It's white and orange. Try them. They're really good.
My name is Lisa Bibby. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Advantage. I put the real back in realtor. We want you to love where you live. So questions about buying or selling, call today. My website is soldbylisab.com. And you can find me on all the social media sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram at Sold by Lisa B.
I'm Trish Caruth, third-generation jeweler and owner of Your Personal Jeweler. I specialize in creating custom engagement rings, wedding rings, and fine jewelry. You can find me online on Instagram and Facebook at The Personal Jeweler, our website, www.thepersonaljeweler.com, or our Royal Oak showroom on 4th and Washington.
And I am John Gay from Jag in Detroit Podcast. You can find me on social at Jag in Detroit or on my website, jagindetroit.com. Happy to answer any podcast questions you have. All podcast recording are done remotely. We do video now as well. And we want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Rocc Pod presented for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. For more information about the Royal Oak Chamber and how to get involved, you can visit royaloakchamber.com. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.